Of course, CBLOL English. We do this out of the passion in our hearts, and it means that today's passion has me both producing and commentating. So I'm asking right now if our audios are balanced. If you're hearing a difference between Axeman and me, tell me in the chat so that I can change it. Otherwise, I can't hear it. I can't monitor myself while I cast. It's simply not happening, and evidently, Loud can't get any priority in the river as we shift right back to the game because Bronze is already stepping up to Root and keeping him back. I am wondering about how that'll play out in the bot lane, two big matchups against each other, and the mid lane as well. We didn't really touch on it, but this Gragas was shifted into that position, and I think Tinons is pretty comfortable with it.
Yeah, I would think so as well. I don't think it's the best Gragas matchup here, so we'll have to see. But that's what you get for blinding Gragas, I think. I also don't think that there was another place they could put the Gragas in terms of a flex pick here. You really did need the Vi pick to get onto the Xayah to get in the back line there. You also did need the Jax up top side. That's a pretty free pick, so this might just be House sacking the mid lane.
It's, I think, an understandable thing when it comes to the draft and saying, okay, well, we need this to play it this way. Up against Tinon's Azir, it feels really bad. And that's obviously the large concern. If you are a fan of Fluxo, is that they're going to have to overcome, I think, the champion, the player that has taken Loud out of the most holes in the mid game single-handedly. In the bot lane, Bronze already being forced to flash away from the Xayah Rakan. I don't think Fluxo are going to be too upset with this. At the same time, losing your flash does take away a lot of tools to make even aggressive plays for later on, and Bronze and JoJo would certainly like to make those.
I would certainly like to make those as well. Also, production note, I think I'm looking at the wrong monitor.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah. I have not seen the game yet.
Oh, that makes sense.
So I have been doing my best.
Yeah. You're killing it. Here, let me fix that for
I
you.
am killing it. There's the game. Let's go.
You're watching me like restream the game to make sure stream quality's all right?
I was super watching that in a small window, 5 seconds behind. Yeah. All right.
Okay, no worries.
The defense here.
Honestly, you kind of crushed it. Root, unfortunately, not going to survive. That is a big first blood going on over to JoJo. Not the person who I would have expected to pick it up, but nicely done of them to call the jungler down and make sure that they get some of those summoners not just back, but really paid for.
It's fun you say that too, right? Because in the Lucian Nami lane, certainly in the first few levels, it's actually the Nami that ends up doing a lot of the damage in this lane. And keep in mind as well, being an enchanter doesn't mind having the gold either, right? You stack up gold in this enchanter, and it really does do a lot to build up your carry as well. It's not like you sink gold into the Nautilus and your Nautilus gets like maybe 400 max HP. You do actually get a lot more healing and shielding value out of the enchanter here. And this is just a really nicely played from JoJo, right? And you walk up, get the ability damage down. If anything, I think Seos is lucky he didn't go down as well.
And Root holding his flash for so long there, both of them actually. I think ultimately the big deciding variable, but Croc finds JoJo alone. Bronze is around. The fight does start off. Tinon's not coming for backup. Instead, it's House who belly bumps him in and takes down Croc. It looked so juicy, though. The sashimi was right in front of him.
Yep, right in front of him there. And all credit to Croc there as well. That should be a fine invade. Brunsey just had the angle, man. He was there so quickly. And they rotate up and protect Jusamis's camps. That's exactly what you want if you're a jungler, right? Hey, I can't fight this Wukong super early into this game. I need you to protect the camps because he's going to try and invade me here. And that's exactly what they do. They get the kill down the Croc. Just like that, it's a 2-0 bot lane here for Fluxo.
Well, Robo's used to this, getting ganked once again, should be able to make it out again. Saving flashes. It's like the calling card of Loud. This time he uses it late, but does get out alive. Has the teleport as well to make it back to lane. Shouldn't miss too many of these minions, but summoner spells are summoner spells, and that's something that Dusamis will be still happy to have provided as a service to his laners.
Wow. Look at the damage from House so early in the game. Tinon's just getting shredded there. in the mid lane. And we'll see how's rotate over, try to check out this dragon. I think they can try and fight for this, but Gisamis is creating a situation where they do not have the numbers. We keep talking about holding the flashes, right? And I think that is a through line we can talk about the narrative of this game through. Everything that Loud has drafted so far has been incredibly safe in the laning phase, right? We're gonna get the replay coming through here, and we'll talk about this. Croc, yeah, he just finds JoJo, just like you said, right? Sashimi, super free, but he smells a rat, and he does not smell it quick enough, right? Because Brunsey and House are both on top of him almost instantly there. They get the kill down. But yeah, the reason that Loud keeps holding on to the flashes here is because of the team comp they've drafted, right? Everybody's so safe in lane. You have the tank top lane, Tino's with the shuffle in the mid lane, and Zyricon down bot. Everyone's holding their flashes because it's almost like they can't believe that they're being ganked this early, right? Because they shouldn't be. It's just such a safe lane. You shouldn't be going for these fights, but they're not only is Fluxo going for the early ganks, they're also getting success off of them as well.
Yeah, it's turned into quite a bit already, and then this is economically, I'll say, because in terms of objectives, Fluxo are technically behind. Loud did a really good job of recognizing that Samus had just ganked Robo, wasn't going to be around for the dragon, take that, but now it's still turned into a situation where, with that economic advantage, Fluxo feel confident bullying them in the bot lane. They're starting to rack up plates now. Houses free roaming. Samus is in your jungle. So it is a big trade-off, right? You do get that one objective, and thank God you did, but you are losing control of the map, and they can see House right here. They know exactly what's going on. Loud can't even walk up to the tower confidently because House just drops by, lays in a little bit of damage, and lets Brunsey and JoJo keep abusing on this Lucian Nami lane.
Certainly, they could push her plates off of this as well. Brunsey going to eat a tower shot.
Oh, no.
Classic Brunsey. But they might have to back off after this one, but they should still be fine. Continue to push her plates. Oh, no. Root and Cios are going to take the reset here. That's going to be even more plates for Brunsey coming up just in a little bit here. A lot of resets coming through across the Rift, actually, as we approach the 8-minute mark. Both teams looking for the Rift Herald on the top side of the map.
Tay gets aggressive onto Robo. Sion not at a point where he definitively loses that trade just yet, and Robo knowing plenty about how much damage he can output on the Sion. This is one of his most played champions, honestly. Robo has played so much Sion. Back when he only played robotic champions. You remember those days, Axeman?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
we saw Sion
days.
like half the games.
Yeah, definitely. Sion, we saw the Malphite, Gnar, all those good mecha skins. And it was a lot of fun, but
he's not even playing with the mecha skin now. He's reformed.
What Sion skin even is that?
I couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you either. It's going to be the fight.
It's all up in Fluxo's face, and lots of damage too, but no kills just yet. Croc flashing away, can't lay down that big CC, but Robo takes up a lot of time, eventually going down as Tinones has arrived from the side. Robo is still laying in damage. Croc finally goes down, but has the rest of Loud bought enough time? It looks like the answer is no, as Fluxo, their health bars a-blinkin', managed to come out on top of that. A really clean execution from them, despite how hard Loud made that.
Excellent execution, just like you said, arriving just in the nick of time, using their big team fight ultimates to create advantages for themselves, killing the jungler early on in this fight. The double kill there for Brunsey was super important for this play as well. And yeah, just like you said, that execution made the difference here. Tinone's eating a bunch of damage. This Gragas has been monumental. Here's the replay coming through for you. All started on Robo, but watch Croc eats almost the entire call. After that, there's just no play for him. He has to walk out, and he will not escape. Unfortunately for Loud, this makes it a 3v5, and that is not something that they can fight for this objective with. They're actually going to lose route in this fight as well. That's not good for the scaling for the Xayah.
Croc survives for at least 6 seconds with 100 HP there, and 6 seconds may not sound like a lot in a team fight. I mean, this guy, he's basically using Kale ult to survive. That was really, really impressive. You don't see anybody be able to do that. That's just Wukong things. It wasn't enough to win Loud the fight, and I mean, if that's not enough, you gotta wonder when it will be. Loud, we talked about it earlier, very quickly lost control of this game, and I'm looking at their composition, I'm looking at the way they're playing things out, and seeing when they'll be able to regain it. And outside of Azir hitting the ultra late game, outside of Xayah doing the same, I don't really know how you play this out as Loud.
No, and I couldn't tell you either. I think conventional wisdom would say, we wait it out, wait for the scaling, but the scaling doesn't seem to be coming anytime soon, right? 3K gold lead for Fluxo. You have the completed mythic item that was rushed out from Brunsey here. Everything is coming up for them. This is a big tempo build for the Lucian, right? No serrated Dirk, nothing like that. You're just trying to build up the value in the early game as much as possible. As you can, get those items underway, get the item spikes going, and try to force yourself into the mid game. That's exactly what Brunsey has done so far. You see the Dragons started up now, as there is no map control left for Loud.
Second Dragon going to be an Ocean as well. We'll find out what soul we're rolling this time. And in all honesty, Axeman, what soul Fluxo are probably getting. Their command the mid game looking totally unchallenged right now as we're sort of ending the early. Once everybody gets their mythics, Fluxo will be on another spike, as Brunsey already is. Tay will be unlocked in the side lane, and Loud will be again struggling for answers here. It will take coordinated team plays to really wrestle this out of the control of Fluxo, and I'm very curious what we'll see out of this Loud roster. How creative can they get? As this is certainly creative. Brunsey almost pays for that with his life.
That's incredible. He flashed, dashed, and he had the item dash in there as well from Gale Force, and yeah, able to get out of that situation. That's an incredible lane gank attempt there from Loud. They almost got him, but Brunsey just too fast. The reflexes, too much for him there. See the Q over wall from Desames.
They've got ult on Vi. This guy's dead. Tinones, you don't make it out of this alive. You got to imagine he's CC'd literally until he dies. That man did not get to touch his keyboard. And JoJo can take his hands off his because he is dead as well. No way to come back from that as Loud. Do clap back, but lose their mid laner. And that stings, man. That really hurts.
Yeah, it really hurts, right? And for this team that's trying to scale up and they're dropping these deaths in the mid game, not good at whatsoever. You have the most CS in the game if you're Azir, but now you're going to be down a couple waves you could have potentially had, and that is not good for the future of this game for you. We'll see if Ty is able to get this kill down. I think Robo still has him.
We'll see. How's coming up?
Not with How's there.
The interrupt on the ultimate. Robo still gets away under tower. No
He's
way!
Out. Oh, nice. That's good stuff.
Legend. That's the
Was that the flash from How's? Yeah,
that is neat. That is a Robo who's approaching playoffs for him. That's like his trademark move as well, as like, I should be dead here and instead I'm fine. So happy that we got to see him survive.
That was good. Yeah, no, this is the comfort we were talking about, right? Like, is this Sion supposed to be a Jax counter? Not necessarily, but it is Robo's best champion, right? Like, far and away. And that's the kind of plays you can make when you're that comfortable on the champion, because any other Sion definitely dies there. Definitely dies there. Yep. I love Brunsey with the ultimate we saw just now, a perfectly perpendicular ultimate. The culling just straight sideways. Don't get to see that too often.
That was really fun to watch. And, well, Desames trying to have some fun up here. Does have How's on the way. How's constantly on the roam, by the way. I was quite worried about this when we saw this Gragas picked into the Azir as to whether he'd have any freedom, but a little bit of early gold. Some nice pressure from Desames, and all of a sudden, I mean, it looks like this guy's playing Vex. He's everywhere on the map. He's playing Twisted Fate, basically. Yeah,
no, he's all over the place. Exactly where he needs to be, too, right? See the rotate up here, Brunsey and JoJo up in the mid lane. Once again, this is all for that Rift Herald, right?
Hey, Loud. Oh, it's Tinones. This is the play that we
Wow.
said he
Oh,
needed to make, and he
no.
blocks
He's out
the
of
dash
dashes.
as well. Oh, that is deadly. And that's exactly the kind of thing that Loud need to do to keep themselves in this game. Tasamas, though, still maybe thinking about going for that kill. Tinones is quite low as we pan away. Looks like it's not going to happen, but Loud are going to try for this Rift Herald, which might just force Fluxo's hand. They don't have the backup yet. Rift Herald's at half health. Tay would still need to commit, but House is on the way up. If only he had Twisted Fate ult. Doesn't, and unfortunately Grog's gonna have to waddle his way up as Tay slays out on Tinones up top. Fluxo actually with a fighting chance in this extended battle. Rift Herald's already gone down, already been claimed by Loud, and they will get away having paid just the price of one to pick up this big objective. Tinones does go down.
Yeah, really nice for them. Losing Tinones again really hurts your scaling one more time, right? Not the best thing for you, but they do get the Rift Herald this time. Maybe they can use it to break open some of these turrets and leverage those for, maybe some more objectives. We'll have to see pushing forward into this game. Tinones will get back on the map. It looks like he's pathing down for the bot lane now, trying to match Ty. And Ty will take down this turret. Good stuff from him, dragging up in under a minute now. We'll see that spawn in just a little bit. Jasam is trying to set up the map for this play and get everybody ready for this here. Brunsey with ultimate, so should be able to fight off the Scion.
This is the Chemtech Dragon that's just hit the Rift. Time for Fluxo to claim what should be theirs, but a lot of them are up top right now. Having sent Tay down to the bot lane previously, they're doing so again. And perhaps just want to keep some top pressure around. Let's take a look at that replay and see exactly how it is that Tinones went down against Raid Boss Tay.
Yeah, Tay just knew he was there, man. He flashed that wall. He said, there's no way Tinones walks out of this. I know he's still standing there watching me, trying to see if he can deal damage from range. And correct call. He was standing right there within flash range. That's totally blind for him, though. Really well done from Tay to make that call. And that's incredible work from him. Just getting in the head of your enemy and really understanding how they're trying to play the game right now. Tay, he's 1v5, but that's enough for Jax, man. He's so strong right now.
He's like, this might actually be a fair fight. Doesn't take it.
fellas. Come on.
All
now.
right, there we go.
We got it down. That was a weird reset. I will say I haven't seen a dragon reset like that. We got the dragon down eventually, and we're gonna lose our top turret for it.
Another play on two Tinones. Nice Zanyas will get him out of at least the vial, but it won't keep him safe from Tay. That is an Azir who gets obliterated. And the follow-up ult from Robo isn't going to catch anyone. Does technically start the fight, making the rest of Fluxo turn back as they jump onto Croc. Seos is on the way, but in come the teleports as well. And you've got backup arriving in the form of House. This Gragas barrel lining him up against the wall. Tay jumps forward again, but the turret erected by the Azir still stands, and from beyond the grave, Tinones assists the team. Not enough to keep Robo alive, barely enough to keep Croc in the game. Fluxo come out the winners yet again, not losing a single person in the extended trade.
Oh my goodness, the House is dealing so much damage. That teleport was super clutch from him there. He arrives on the scene, deals incredible amounts of damage for just having the Rod of Ages and just having 4 stacks. You can imagine what this Gragas is going to look like once he actually gets some items under his wings, and he'll be soaring to new heights here. Roots finding out.
Almost dies despite having exactly the right answer. The only thing else he could have done there is flash, and you're not going to do that, right?
No, certainly we don't have to flash, and that's characterized Loud's gameplay so far as like we don't have to flash here, do we? Right? But no, you do.
You have
always
to flash.
do.
You have to flash there. Oh, it's just Fluxo are too much right now. We talked about it earlier, but their mid game was always going to be terrifying. The fact that they got a lead early, even scarier, and now that we've seen Loud come up with a few plays, I think you could say, Loud look like they're getting back into this. I don't think they are yet. I don't think they're even close yet, Axeman. Yeah, they're putting up a fight against Fluxo, but Fluxo aren't fighting in the majority of situations where Loud are winning. They're cheeky little plays that get you out ahead, and Fluxo are getting objectives somewhere else.
Certainly, and that's what their pick comp lends itself to, right? Is finding advantages in just the little situations, the transitional time, right? Those liminal spaces between objectives where you get the pick, you get just one member and create man advantages in these team fights and roll those into objectives. Fluxo has done this beautifully so far with several picks onto Tinones, a number of picks onto Route as well. And that is exactly how you play this comp. This is being executed perfectly.
All your jungler belong to us. Desamus knocks out some vision. Brunse and Jojo get to back him up, clearing out the entire top side of Loud, which they now cannot enter. It's a fortress of darkness and of, I guess, unfortunate company if they choose to enter it. They are going to try and put up a defense for their top turret, but Root isn't even on the rotation yet. Fluxo have nothing to be afraid of, and sort of tossing out the barrel for just a little bit of additional damage. House feels plenty comfortable. This is not a position that you'd want to be in. Fluxo are looking terrifying right now, and even there, I wasn't sure if Loud are going to get out alive. This is a fight coming in for sure. In comes Desamus, does get interrupted, but still somehow alive. The man was just in the middle of 5 people, and he didn't even take half his health bar.
No, not even close, right? Loud, maybe the scaling's starting to come through. Maybe the tanks are starting to be enough damage here. We'll see the resets come through from a number of Fluxo members, and they will not be able to take the Baron off of this jungle possession. We'll see if they can force it next round, but that is a lot of gold being spent right now. Quick Blades completed from Brunse. He's got a Zeal item in there as well, so this is a lot of damage coming out of the Lucian right now. A bit of a spike for him here. But Route not that far behind, right? Similar build, similar items.
Once you do catch up, I mean, that Xayah will overtake Lucian in the late game, and that is the promise of the Loud roster with things like Azir and Xayah both, Sion even, that's going to scale into a Giga Tank. He's halfway there already. It's not like you don't have options as Loud. Tay, really the biggest scaler on the side of Fluxo, and as a side laner, he can absolutely be dealt with by the likes of this Sion later in the game. Right now, though, guy, like we said, 1v5 is just about even for him, and there's nothing you can really do while Fluxo have the chance to basically promote all of their pieces. Everybody's a queen right now, moving around the board, putting out insane amounts of pressure. Can you actually avoid checkmate as Loud for long enough to reach that state?
That's an excellent point here too, right? It's a quadra carry composition from Fluxo. Everybody deals so much damage, and there's no real angle. If you're trying to survive in the 1v1, it has to be big, sprawling team fights, or you're just going to get picked off with all the pick tools that Fluxo have. So Loud picking their battles very carefully and pointedly here as well, trying to protect Tinones in specific, right? Because he's been picked so many times, because he just doesn't have the disengage tools that perhaps you would want on your magic damage carry. And they have to hover him every stage of the game here going forward if they want to scale this Azir up.
So the scary thing about Azir and specifically Tinones as well is that when this champion gets picked for Loud, it isn't picked as an insurance thing for late game. It is that quite naturally, but Tinones so often also has to be the playmaker for this team. He's favored a lot of the Lissandra, the Galio this season, trying to make plays for everyone else, get Loud into the game, and if you have to do that and put out the damage, your job as a mid laner is quite difficult. Fluxo did feel confident starting up the Baron right there, weren't able to finish it, trying to turn off and get a pick onto Loud. I think respecting their opponents here, absolutely the right move when you are going up against a storied organization and roster. Loud have achieved the very top of CBLOL, And you don't want to take a chance on a Baron in the mid-season up against them. You may as well wait it out, wait for the safer play, but Fluxo are still in the position to make it
Ooh.
happen. In comes the teleport. Tay with the stun. That's the big engage onto Robo, who as a tank has to ult backwards. A temporary turret is erected, but House destroys with the ultimate. There's a big
Oh,
knock
there
up,
we go.
answered right back from Seos as they pick up one. Loud actually getting away, having lost no one and picking off Disamus instead. No Baron, no mid lane play for you, Fluxo.
Fluxo uses so many of their tools directly into the Robo's face, and they aren't able to get the kill down. He's just too tanky. Like you said, that tower came up there for Tinones, the Azir tower. We get the ultimate out there for Root, all these disengage tools coming through, and it finally paid off for Loud. They were able to avoid the pick and able to keep all their members on Summoner's Rift. This is a good look for Loud, right? This finally they get a good team fight, a good opportunity to 5v5 and use the tools that at their disposal to their advantage. There was a couple of misplays there for Fluxo. A rare break in the armor, right? For a team that's executed this comp so perfectly up to this point. We saw the Nami ult used at the top of the fight, which is a little strange. Certainly onto Robo as well. That's not the best use of the ability. Also, a couple abilities went wide there in that fight as well. And of course, so much damage. So many of the tools were used onto Robo just for him to escape anyway. Not a good execution there from Fluxo.
Not what they were looking for, and I do have to commend Loud for the way that they played that as well. As many or as much as we can say Fluxo made mistakes, and they did in that fight. Loud struck back in a Scorpion-esque fashion, absorbing a lot of those hits, and then with precision deleting one member of Fluxo. I know we haven't had the replay yet, but I am really chomping at the bit for it. We just can't watch it while these teams are looking for another Baron fight. There is no safe place to rest right now. It's been trades back and forth division. Both teams fully able to see what happens in the Baron pit right now, and Loud confident enough to step up, say we take that team fight again, we can find a way to win it, and I put that with an asterisk again.
Certainly, and you're going to see this with the way this comp plays out for Fluxo, is that the Baron is honestly a lot more valuable to them alive than it is dead. The reason being is that as long as you can threaten that Baron, you can get Loud to walk into the jungle towards you, right? And that really is what Fluxo wants, is that they want to draw you out. They want to draw you into a fight so that they can sit in the bush and pick members off as you try to push onto the objective. So you see them set up the vision here. You see them almost you see them start up the Baron a couple times, but they'll almost start it just to like walk off into a bush somewhere to try and set up those picks, right? So that's what we're seeing right now, is just this little dance back and forth with the vision. And then Fluxo trying to set up the pick. That's so much damage on a Croc. Look at it, Dia. That's like 2 abilities from Brunsey.
That was very, very scary. This is a reason why you don't get to face check the rest of Fluxo, and their focus has shifted. Fluxo, recognizing the dragon is going to spawn in less than a minute, now less than 20 seconds, have already shifted their vision down there, and the pressure up top side is just almost incidental as they're letting Tay do his thing, crashing waves, but ultimately setting up now for an objective that is much easier to take. This dragon, this stacking win condition that we attribute to so many teams, is really going to be the thing that could save Fluxo's composition against the likes of a Sion, Azir, Xayah. If they can pick up Soul, if they can pick up Elder, they're going to be all right. The fact that Loud have got 2 dragons already, a little bit concerning, but not enough to keep Fluxo out of taking the third.
No, not at all, right? And they will take that dragon down, split the map up, and wind up controlling both sides of the map, even at disadvantages with the numbers. That's the level of map control we're looking at right now for Fluxo, and it's an incredible amount of control from them. Incredible use of this lead. This is not like a game-breaking massive lead that we usually see with this level of map control, right? They're playing way outside their lead right now, executing extremely well with the vision control, and really maxing out the control over this map that they have. This is like a 10k gold lead level of map control, and they're pulling it off with like 4,000 gold.
I need to give credit to Loud here, though. With that recent gold graph, we've also seen the gold lead stabilize quite a bit. Loud have been doing a good job of keeping this Fluxo, who are on a rampage, at least at arm's length for the past couple of minutes, and it's let them stay in the game, farm up the items, and maybe confident enough to take this fight. Desamis jumps into a little more than he was expecting, and Robo takes absolutely 0 damage off of that culling. He's just chilling in the river. Croc goes on the engage here, double knockup. He is deleted, and Loud now have to fight a 4v5 against a Jax, who has just arrived, jumped into the back line, and said, "You shall not touch my team." Fluxo walk away with 2 kills, separating and destroying.
Yeah, I would say that's a misunderstanding of how the comp functions there from Croc. You have to understand what Fluxo are wanting from this fight is to kill the jungler so they can start Baron, right? So if you're the Wukong and you think, okay, I'm Wukong, I dive the back line, I'm going to go try it there. That's not your role in these team fights anymore. Your role should be to peel back for the Xayah and try to drag the fights out so that Xayah can lay down the damage over time, and eventually maybe you get the win on the team fight there. It's not diving back on Lelouch alone. That's just going to lose you the game here, unfortunately. The Baron does go down, and Fluxo, they're going to push her as much as they can get. There's not much Loud can do to stop them.
No, especially without Croc, half health right now, has to take the reset. But Robo is back onto the map, trying to provide some zoning for his team. Simply cannot do anything right now as he gets just shoved back by the pure force that is Fluxo at this point in the game. Inhibitor absolutely going down. It's a natural consequence from Fluxo, and with Tay having set up the mid lane, you're losing 2 big pieces of your base here. I think Loud will survive this, but they survive it in shambles.
Yeah, Tino's kind of saving the game here, right? While they were pushing for those inhibitors, Tino's was pushing out the bottom lane to make sure that there was no play there for Fluxo. Take a look at this fight once again. It starts with Jasamis pushing way too far up. He could have easily gotten picked there, but he's going to be able to make the escape. Take a look at Croc here. Yeah, he wants in on that back line. He's going to flash forward. And yeah, total misunderstanding of how this comp operates, right? You want to protect route as much as possible, kite backwards so you can lay down the damage at range. That's just not what's happening here. I didn't know we played in windowed mode.
It's funny. You know, I was looking at that, and what I took away from it is that, it looked a lot less sudden on his screen. Like, from my perspective, Croc jumped in and died immediately. I would have taken my hands off the keyboard and gone, what happened? From him, looked like there were a few decisions there. You know, it took a little more time.
100%. Almost like time slows down for some of these guys too. The reflexes are so fast as well. But you see all of Tino's efforts pushing out that bottom lane have come to this. Just a minute later, they're going to be able to push this in and look for that bot side inhib. This will be the 5v5 over the play. You see Ty in the mid lane.
Baron should be expiring soon. Fluxo want to try and make this work. Well, it's up. That's so much damage out of Brunson with Tay on the flank. Loud know that the respectful play is to back up. This tower going to go down, the inhibitor as well, of course, but Fluxo want more than that. Fluxo want a fight. Houses positioning aggressively. Desamis ready to jump in whenever, and Fluxo want the end of the game right now. In goes the flash onto Sales, but Charm right back, double knockup, and a shutdown onto Bronze. Loud strike back. You don't disrespect us in our base. Tay almost bites the dust, able to get away for a second into defensive bubble. Keeps Loud at bay, but Fluxo are gonna have to try their luck another day because Loud will not go quietly, not today.
Super rare error from Brunsey there. I mean, he dies with flash up. I can't believe what I'm watching right now. I mean, the 10k gold lead from Fluxo, they're going to take all the inhibs down, but now just like that, they've been forced out. They might not even get this Dragon Soul as we see Loud forcing their way into the pit. This is going to be close.
Desamis pulls off has the smite here. I'm actually looking back at that cooldown and wondering if he did. But
yeah, right.
Fortunately enough, Croc wasn't able to get close enough, so we never questioned it. Whew.
Oh, okay. So he might not have had flash. It might be closer. The culling comes out, does so much damage. We're gonna take a look at this flash timer here from Brunsey. He might get off the hook.
Yeah.
But he takes the turret shot. Classic Brunsey, man. just a random turret shot out of nowhere. Yeah, that flash might have been on cooldown. All right. I'll give Brunsey that one. This positioning is still super illegal. I think you don't need to be on the front line there if you're Brunsey. And yeah, not the best stat there, but he did not have flash. So
He's like, I'm following up my jungler, man. What do you want from me? Like,
well, you probably feel unstoppable too, right? Because
yeah.
that's a game-winning scenario right there. But now they have the Dragon Soul. They're teleporting in. We do have flash up this time for Lucian, so this here should be the end of the game.
And not only do we have flash up for Lucian, we've got double supers pouring into the base. The bot lane held at bay by a meager minion wave. And Tay, again, an unstoppable force. We talked about this Jax earlier. As soon as it was picked, we went, what do you really grab into this? Do you really go with the Scion here? And unfortunately, Scion is the best answer because you just can't touch Tay in the later portions of this game. Does get knocked up twice, still able to survive, and Fluxo really just tantalizing Loud. Loud keep trying to put themselves in a situation where Fluxo will overcommit, and it's simply not happening. With Soul available, Desamus might have been the one, though. He overcommits for a second, flashes away, but now doesn't really have the tools on Vi to engage a fight themselves. It's going to have to go down to the rest of Fluxo, closing this out onto Loud, not overextending, not getting too close to Root, too close to Tinones. House jumps in, hits the belly bump, but Loud are surviving really well.
You are surviving for the time being.
Stun. Man, just on the edge here. Fluxo are playing so patient right now. Just choking the life out of Loud, saying, oh, I'm on your carries. Oh, never mind, I'm not. Just a casual bit of damage that almost kills Croc entirely. Gets thrown out by House. That's both Nexus towers down, and even now, Loud are putting on such a performance to keep themselves in the game. They're even going to get aggressive right now, knowing they've got Robo back at full health. Out goes the ultimate. He finds 3, but is alone. No one else is here to back up Robo. And Loud are overextending themselves. House jumps back, gets the bump, does fall down, and now we're starting to see the even trades. Now we're starting to see Loud really claw their way back into this game. Is it in time, though, Axeman? They've lost everything.
They really have lost everything here. This would be narrow margins to come back from. We will go ahead and say, certainly if they lose this Baron, it'll be incredibly difficult for them. And I don't know if I would feel comfortable even giving them a shot, but they do have a ghost of a chance so far, Dia. And that scaling has certainly come through. I think they can fight Fluxo. I do not think that they can win the game, but man, oh man, did they ever get close, Dia. It was just razor thin there at the backside. We see them winning these fights. Just keep in mind, all Fluxo have to do to win this game now is kill a single member of Loud outside of a team fight, and this game will end almost instantly. They're going to march it down mid now. There's nowhere else to push, nowhere else to run for Loud.
And one missed position ends the game for you. Loud know this, and at this point, I think even if you win the game, which you're not going to, or you shouldn't, you look back and it's still one where, though we're seeing signs of life from Loud, though we're seeing their composition come together, you know that they could have done so much elsewhere, and that's what they're looking at going into future weeks. Whether they can pull this game back or not, still technically a probability or a possibility, but as we've said, very, very unlikely. I go so far as to say if Loud win this game with no inhibitors and no Nexus towers, I'll eat my socks. I'll do it, Axeman. There's it scares me to say that it's still technically possible, but it is technically.
It certainly is technically possible here. It should be the fight in just a few seconds coming through. I don't think they waited out for the Elder Dragon. That might be the angle here for Fluxo, though. Keep in mind, you do want Loud to walk into you if you're Fluxo. So using that Elder Dragon to create that scenario could be the angle they go for. I think a lot of teams, though, just push for the end here, Dia.
That's certainly what they're going to try and do. The thing is, Loud also like it when you're jumping onto them, with things like Zaya and Azir both. Out goes the engage from Robo. We got another fight on the side as House almost blows up Tinones. Half his health gone in an instant. Now, Brunsei feels plenty confident, lasering down Robo. It's a lot of damage straight into the tank. It's a full ultimate, but it should be enough. Fluxo are looking for the end of the game. Out goes that Nami tidal wave, forcing the ult from Zaya. Tinones forced to use the ult defensively, and even now, everybody's just being ignored by Tay as he says, I'm gonna win my team the game! And Fluxo take the 2-0 over Loud in the season, picking up the win in week 6.
That's an incredible way for Brunsey to win this.